Trying to make sure that I'm in focus. I'm recording on my forward-facing camera. This might be TMI, but I don't exactly know where it's gonna fall at as far as me recording. So just wanted to make sure that I'll have all my junk in the background in frame. What's up, everybody? It's Nicole, aka Miss Writes Trends, and I'm making this video as a get ready with me video slash venting session. I know it's been a while since I posted, and really I just wanted to talk about it's basically another dating video. So I was dating this guy who I met him online. I know everyone's like, oh, see, you met him online, that's where you messed up. I disagree with that. I think that a lot of great relationships can come out of people who have met online. It's just a matter of finding the right person. That's what it comes down to. So yeah, everything was great at first. I would say for the first few weeks, and then things just went left. He's had his life experiences that, have got him to the point where he's kind of like, nope, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And they kind of just put their foot down and they're just like, I'm not doing this for anyone else ever again. Now, I can understand that. However, you should always enter a relationship with open arms, an open heart, with as little baggage as possible. Meaning, don't be coming into a new relationship knowing that, you're still not over your ex, or you have things that are unresolved between you and your ex. Because I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing to enter a relationship. And I'm not, well, actually, no, even when you're trying to be open to dating, like getting back out there, make sure you're completely over the person that you were dating. Because you can't expect to fully and completely move on if you're still holding on to things that happened in your past relationships. There's a difference between, having your issues as far as, what you're holding on to, your resentment and, your grudges, what have you, versus taking that as a life experience, making it a lesson learned, and growing from it, and moving forward from there. That's understandable. But it's very easy to get those two confused. For example, when you're always comparing your exes to the person you're currently dating, please don't do that. Don't do that. It's just really stupid and really petty. Obviously there was something there that brought you to that person. It's not cool to do that at all. That's the bottom line. And plus, that's a red flag. It's like, are you really over that person? If you're comparing them to the person that you're with or the people that you're dating. Another thing too is if you find yourself being 100% and completely guarded to the point where it stops you from feeling emotion for that person, letting them in, things like that, then maybe you should consider not being with anyone, and just working on yourself. It's okay to be guarded to a certain degree, but if you're guarded to the point where there's no progression within yourself or even in the relationship, then I would question whether or not you are really truly ready for that relationship. It's not healthy to be 100% guarded all the time. Now there are people like myself. If I don't trust you, I do have my guard up, but once I get to know you, and I'm pretty good at reading people as long as my feelings aren't involved. Once I get to know you better, that guard slowly comes down. But that's what you want. That's a goal that you want in mind when you're entering a relationship. Get to know that person. I'm not saying, fall head over heels. It's possible. But, get to know that person. Get to know what they're all about. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Take time to get to know them. Don't really rush into it. It's easy to, catch feelings and get, caught up in the moment and everything like that. It's so easy to do that. But it's even harder to get to know the person that you're dating, to find out more about them. I don't have a rhyme or reason for anything that I'm saying right now. It's not like in order of what I'm saying. There's no order to it. So it's kind of off the top of my head. I'm improvising right now, I guess. But yeah, I just in my experiences, I've come across a lot of people that are constantly talking about how they're hurting still, and they have all this baggage, and they that's another thing. If you're not ready to date, don't date. Period. If there's a question, a suspicion, you're precautious, don't date. That means you're not ready. The reason why I say that is because you could come across people that are ready to date, that are ready to be in serious relationships. And if you're that apprehensive about it, and you drag somebody else along with your apprehension, that it's just unnecessary waste of time, basically. Because I truly don't understand that, why there are people out there that are just, unsure of themselves and unsure of what they want. Work that shit out before you drag somebody else along with you. Get to know yourself better as a person and what exactly you're looking for and what you want. Because it's important that you also date people that are on the same page as you. And if you're not on the same page, if you want to take it slow with people, which is okay, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Find people that are the equivalent of that. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But yeah, find people that are on the same page as you. If you just want something discreet, put that out there. Don't try to find a nice woman that you can swoon, or a good man that you can take advantage of, because it goes both ways. All right, some women aren't as innocent as they play that they are. But I think it's important, again, to find somebody that's on the same page as you, regardless of what you're looking for, and be open and honest about it. Be honest. Honesty is so important to a lot of people, but they don't use it. They don't utilize that. You know? So just be honest. Be honest and make sure that you are doing whatever you need to do to keep that communication going, because it's very important. Communication is so important in any type of relationship that you get into. I'm trying to give my personal experiences without getting too personal. I do believe in privacy. Just because we have social media and we have the internet and all that good stuff does not mean that people should be putting their business out there. Oh, and that's another thing. Keep your relationship off the internet. This same guy that I was dating, I know this is kind of hypocritical right now, but I'm just sharing because, you know, this is not a very good thing to be doing. But I was, you know, we had gotten to an issue, and I had said some things that he did not like. It hit a nerve. And he decided to post what I said on the internet. And, you know, there was a girl that responded to it, and she basically said, well, if I was in my younger days, I would punch her in her face. And he's like, I believe you. That was the comment that he made. Really? So you just letting people internet punch me in my face? You know, based on you airing out our dirty laundry on Facebook? You know, like that stuff is, and like I said, I'm using this as an example as to why it doesn't help your relationship. It does not help that you put your information on blast like that. Not only that, but you're letting people who have no clue what your relationship is about, you're letting them have, you know, some say in your relationship, whereas that should be kept private. It should be a part of you and that other person, your partner. It has nothing to do with everyone else. The same thing with, you know, letting your friends and family have input on your situation. You know, you are going through some things, and I get it, you want to vent, but the person you really should be venting to is your partner. And another thing too is, like, when that other person comes around, those people that you're complaining to, you've built, you know, this preconceived idea of what that person is based on all the negativity that you've been venting about. So how do you expect those people to properly like this person if you have already gone off, you know, about how he's a deadbeat and da-da-da? Like, really? And then you're still hanging out with him. So how does that make you look in front of your friends? So you have to be careful, you know, who you vent to, A, and B, you also have to be careful about what you're venting about. You know, don't, if you feel like venting and it's something where you're just like, you know, I'm not going to get through to him, you know, or her, they're not listening, you know, vent, but keep it very vague. Don't get into details, you know. You know, I've known women that would go into great detail about what their man's like in the bedroom and the things that they're unhappy with. That, you should not be sharing that with anybody. You know, the good, the bad, you shouldn't be sharing any of that with anyone. Whenever I share something with someone, if I do, It's going to be a very close friend, or my mom, or my sister. And it's going to be very, very, very vague information. You never, ever, ever, ever want to get into the details of your intimacy with anyone. Never. Don't you ever do that. People are hard to trust nowadays, you know? So you don't want to be put in a situation where, you know, you're left brokenhearted because you're sharing too much of your information. Granted, if there are people like that in your lives, they're going to show their ugly faces regardless. You can set them up or not, it don't matter. But if there are people like that in your life, obviously they're not worth being in your life anymore if they're going to do anything like that to you. However, you don't want to make it easy for them either by sharing that kind of information. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to share. Be positive. Be positive. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You know, you're just like, there's so many people that are just like, oh, you know what? I've had a bad relationship. I've had bad relationships in the past. I don't even want to even think that this relationship is going to end up good because I got my heart broken too many times. Come on now. That shit ain't going to happen again. And if it does, you know what to do now. Like I said, you've got your life lesson. Take that in. Move forward. You know? And, I mean, it is what it is. Like, that's it. It is what it is. So, but yeah, you want to be positive, though. Even if it's like, oh, we haven't really had too many good experiences. If you are both willing to work for it, then work for it, you know? Don't let anyone else decide the fate of your relationships. Don't let your own insecurities stop you from having the blessing that you can find in that person. It's very easy to self-sabotage yourself based on all the negativity that you're feeding your brain and your heart. Now there's a difference between, you know, staying positive versus being naive. You know, you don't want to be a naive person. You know, if you have red flags, talk to that person about it. Like, what's going on about this? Don't go running to your girlfriends talking about, oh, he did this and she did that and da-da-da. Don't be doing that. If you have an issue with something that they're doing, then take it up with them. It's just that simple. It really is that simple. And if they're not going to be willing to be open with you and communicate with you as well, then hey, then we need to question the integrity of that relationship, right? So it's very important to oh, excuse me. It's very important to keep that positivity, though, for real. That is such an important thing. It really is. Trust. God damn it. You know, like, there's so many people out there that are just like, I ain't trusting him. He gotta earn my trust. The fuck? How he gonna earn your trust? How? Please explain that to me. Because in my with how I see it, a person, this is how I am. A person should be trusted until they give you a reason not to be trusted. That is how I am. That is what I stand by. That is just who I am as a person. You know, don't make them go through circus hoops and bend over backwards and doing all this stuff, having them do all these things for you, making them do tricks and chase after you because you don't trust them. That's not fair. Don't do that to them. Don't. If you have trust issues, work on that, boo-boo. You need to take yourself by yourself and work on those trust issues before you even involve anyone in your life. Seriously. Get those trust issues worked out, honey. Really. Get them worked out. Because that kind of shit is going to cause ruin to every single relationship that you enter if you don't get it fixed. Seriously. So, those are some things to take into consideration. I mean, these are things that I tried to implement myself. So, I'm sharing this because, you know, I'm going through it as well as far as dating and trying to, you know, find the right person. It's definitely a journey, that's for sure. It really, really is. So, yeah. I think that that's gonna do it. Yeah. I just did my hair, so I'm going to give you a review on my hair, so stay tuned for that. Alright, until next time.